I guess I should have brought my Bollinger. Hi there. For those of you who are new here, my name's Jackie. I live full-time in my Dodge Grand Caravan up here in the Canadian winter. If you're new to the channel and you want to check out more, there will be some links at the end of this video. Just a quick little note before we get going. I made this video about 3 months ago, and it was a coffee supporter, Dimitri, who reminded me that in a previous video I had promised this. So I found my clips and I've put this together now for you. Hope you enjoy it and find it helpful. And thank you, Dimitri, for your support on coffee. Okay, hi there. I've just come back from Calgary. I'm in Edmonton now. In Calgary, I was visiting my sister, and we went out for a big hike in Kananaskis together. It was absolutely lovely. Hopefully I'm not going to fall into the water. And if you do, it's a very short distance back to the car. Beautiful Rocky Mountains before the freezing cold and the snow really hits. We thought we'd get one in. We did. Didn't even have to use my bear spray. I need to get back into my little routine here in the area. And before I do that, I stopped at my father's on the way back into town, and he received a package from me while I was away. And I'm trying to get this all wrapped up in about an hour with the sun setting very quickly. It's the last warmish day to do this. I'm in a public park, a parking lot, and I'm going to try and install this. What is it? Well, it's my Bluetti Charger 1. So this is my DC to DC charger. This is the one I've been waiting for. I like the Bluetti brand. I've got one of their power stations. I think they have a fairly good reputation. This particular charger has just come out, probably on the coattails of the EcoFlow DC to DC charger, which is apparently very brilliant. This one doesn't have quite as many features. However, it's going to do what I need it to do, and that is it will boost the output from my alternator through the 12-volt system and boost it up and convert it from the 100 watts that I could get out of my cigarette lighter to up to 500 watts that I can put directly into my power station via the MC4 solar input. So super excited. Should be a fairly simple install. Let's have a little look at what I've got here though. So I got a pretty good deal on it, all things considered, as I was a bit of an early adopter, kind of jumped in on the pre-sale bandwagon, and I was a member of their site, so I had a notification fairly early to invite me to buy it. And so I got the whole shebang, including the DC cable that will go from my battery to my power station. I have to route it through the firewall of the Dodge Grand Caravan that I've got. The lovely little compact charger. This is what I really liked about this particular charger, is just how compact it was. And it will connect up via my Bluetooth app, and I can adjust what comes in. And that's really what sold me on this. And I can adjust it fairly easily, and I can monitor it, because my alternator, I'm not positive what amperage it is, but I think it's 140. It's either 140 or 160 amps. And I think the rule of thumb is, you know, with this kind of device, you don't want to take too much. You don't want to burn out your alternator. That's a very expensive mistake. So I can adjust my input to probably 30 or 40%, 30% of that particular amperage, and hopefully not burn anything out. So yeah, lovely little device. Input and output cables there. I think you just have to get into there with a little Allen key, tighten everything up, put it through the firewall, connect it up to your battery, and then open up your app, select the input charging voltage that you'd like, and Bob's your uncle. I should have absolutely no need ever to put solar up unless I'm staying static for a long time. I'm hoping that this will satisfy all of my charging needs, keep my 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery charged up through my power station as I drive along, just doing my business and going from my job to job. So look, I've got an hour left before the sun is completely gone. I'm going to try and install it. And then I'll bring you with me to have a look at the aftermath. Okay, well, what do you know? I didn't have too much trouble getting through that firewall. I previously put these wires through to give me an extension and a direct connection to my battery for a cigarette plug, as I was having so much trouble charging directly from my actual cigarette lighters. And that worked great until I received this product here. And now, hello. Whoa! Time to get some classy upgrades. So now all I have to do is hook these up to my battery, get inside, and hook up the other end to the other bit. Geez, I should have done this at my father's well-equipped garage. I've got one broken socket set, a ratchet, and a Leatherman tool, and it'll have to do. Oh, 2 different sizes. There we go. So I actually don't know whether I should hook these up to here or to here. I don't know if it makes any difference whatsoever. I think I'm going to go with this. And trust me, folks, this is not a guide to installation. This is an absolute bodge. There we go. But just to show you, I'm not scared of it. But definitely you need to refer to the directions that Bluetti gives you via their video. That's the smartest thing to do. I've done a lot of this kind of stuff in the past, and I'm sort of imprecise about things. However, things just seem to end up working for me. I usually go back and tighten and fix and tidy things as I go down the road. Okay, so red to positive, black to negative, as we all know. Do I ever remember which is first? Red first when you're putting something on. Okay, so red first. I'll tighten that up in a second, and then black. Gloves to protect myself a little bit from possible sparking. Oh, this is going to be a nice install, I can tell. Lovely wires. I'll tighten everything up. Inside is going to be another story inside the cab because it's all a bit of a disaster at the moment. Here, I'll put that the other way around. And get that started. There we go. Okay, let's tighten all of that up. Actually, I think my ratchet does work the other way around. To tighten. Yes. It just won't loosen. I'm going to tighten that up quite hard. I think this whole system needs to be tightened up. My battery is probably on the way out. Especially in the Canadian Arctic winter, I don't think it's going to be terribly reliable. So I'll possibly be changing that all up in the future. Okay, so that's nice and tight. Right, now to go back inside and hook up the other end. Okay, it's quite possibly pointless to be going through any of this in the cabin of the dark car. However, I'm going to give it a try. So that's the MC4 connector. That's going to be hooked up to the charger side, and here's our little bag of goodies and accessories. I should have a little Allen key in here that will allow me to affix my connectors to the power or to the charger. Ah, yeah, there it is. Okay, here is the sweet little charger one. So this is output, this is input, so that's the wires coming from the other side. Let's go ahead and connect these up. So you open up the little rubber tab. Can you see any of that? And get in here. Open those negative. Okay, and I'm going to tighten that down, but not like a lunatic. And then positive. And in she goes. Tighten her up. Nice little covered port. Love little details like that. Keep the dust out, keep everything nice and tidy. Okay, and now for the input. So, there's my big long main cable. and a wonderful little breaker. Seems like it might be a little bit of overkill, I'm not sure, but I'm glad to have it. So you make sure that's off. You don't make it live, otherwise you might get a little 12-volt shock. Unpleasant, but it won't kill you, I don't think. Incidentally, in the YouTube video from Bluetti about the installation of this device, they actually do it the other way around. The reason I've done it like this is because I don't have loads of room to work inside. So in other words, you hook all of this stuff up first, and then you thread it through your firewall and then to the battery to finish. But as long as I make sure that my breaker is off, I shouldn't have any trouble whatsoever. Negative. So one last time, is my breaker in the down? Yes, it is. Fear not. No sparks. My hair is still flat and not standing on end. Yippee yahoo. Okay, and that's tightened down. So I'm just going to give these the yank test. Pretty darn good. I'm happy with that. The yank test over here, pretty darn good. Oh my goodness, we're almost there. So obviously I'm going to be tidying all of these cables up and zip tying them to various parts of the interior of my car to keep it nice and out of the way. But for now, I'm just so excited. I just want to give it a try. So I'm going to plug it into my power station, which is right behind me. So that's my solar input cable, MC4 connectors. That would normally attach to the solar panels. Okie dokie. So here we go. MC4. Male to female, female to male. Bada bing. Okay, so there it is. Look at that beautiful little compact unit. Just brilliant. If it works, it's brilliant. If it doesn't work, it's pants. And I'm going to plug that into my station. But guess what? This is where I have to say bye to you now, because I've got to open up the app, and the app is on this thing that's recording the video. So, hey, when I get rich and famous, and if somebody buys me a few coffees, I will be able to buy a second camera. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I'm just kidding. That's just being silly. Okay, so here we go. Here's my little charger. Here is my breaker. I flipped the breaker up. There is my lovely little power station, Bluetti AC70. So I'm going to start the car, and the device should come on automatically when the car starts. So no accidental discharging of your battery, which I just did yesterday. So the little green light is flashing. It should be going solid at some point. There we go, solid. And that means the device will start charging the power station. So there we are, going up to 183 watts, 182. And it should be going up to 300-ish. I set it for silent charging rather than the maximum input allowed for this device, which is 500 watts. I think that might be a little harsh on the old alternator, particularly if I'm running heaters and fans and headlights and all sorts. So I think this is a nice, tidy little number. It's giving me 200 watts more than my cigarette lighter socket was giving me. I'm pretty happy with that. And in a pinch, I'm sure I could crank up the wattage and get a little bit more in there. But this should keep me going. I am chuffed to bits. Chuffed to bits. Okay, so there you have it. That took me about 45 minutes to install, start to finish, to get it hooked up to my app. That's not such a bad result. So really, even though I'm a have-a-go person, if I can do it, pretty much anybody can do it. As long as you can get through your firewall, which is just a rubber gasket. It's not as easy as it may appear to be at the beginning. I think it's kind of a double gasket with a hollow interior. So to get everything to thread through in one direction in that tight little space, that was a bit tricky. But I did it, and it's running, and it is charging my lithium iron phosphate battery, which is at the back of the car, which is devoted to my diesel heater. If I don't have that diesel heater in the next few days, I'm going to freeze to death, and there's a long winter coming. So I'm very grateful. It's done.